again, like we organize at Apziva, we organize these community events to help the machine learning and data science community. Today we have Keshav Somani with us. He's an expert in the field. Keshav graduated, did the BTech and MTech, a dual degree basically, from IIT Kharagpur in industrial engineering, and then started working in the industry in data analytics and data scientist positions for several years, including several industry leading companies. I won't be able to name all of them because he has like extensive like experience in the industry as a data scientist. Uh, he's now working at Adobe as AI and ML architect. Before Adobe, he was working at Microsoft, and then before that, he was working at Amazon and several other companies, industry leading companies. Keshav will be able to share his journey today with us. Keshav is also one of our mentors. He's like amazing, really like has helped several people, like talented professionals, to break into machine learning and AI roles at Apziva. So welcome, Keshav, and thank you guys for joining us. Uh, Keshav, could you please like I try to introduce you as best as I can, but like, would you be able to like tell us a little bit about yourself? How was your journey? What kind of struggles you had? And then like we can maybe like in a free format, ask me anything session format, like we can start taking questions. So the stage is yours. Thank you so much for hosting this session today. We're really delighted to have you today. And also like thank you guys for being a part of this amazing event. So Keshav, the stage is yours.
Hey, thanks, Sami. Thanks everyone for joining this call. It's so great to see so many data science AIML enthusiasts. Like, it's really good that you all will be part of this journey where we are seeing lot of, innovations, mainly with the LLMs right now crossing the benchmarks and all. So, let me introduce myself. Hey, this is Keshav. I have around 11 and a half years of experience into this AIML field, and this has been a like an incredible journey. As Semi also mentioned that, yeah, I've worked with diverse set of companies. I also won't be able to name all of them because there have been like few of them into IT consulting, few of them into banking, then most recently which is into mainly into e-commerce or software like Amazon, then Microsoft, and then Adobe currently. So all in all, overall 11 and a half years, I was into basically into machine learning projects and like delivered a lot many projects, and it has been a great journey. And recently in the past 6 7 years, if you say if I tell you that I have also moved towards specialization into NLP and recommendation engine, where the recommendation engine is something you might have seen in most of the streaming apps which you browse through day and night and then the news apps and all, where you see a lot of recommendations, that and e-commerce, of course, e-commerce, then where you see that though the conversions there are very much very much into the top line of the company, because once you buy something through the recommendation, it's like, okay, you have increased our revenue. So that is something which puts directly to the AIML directly to the top line of the company or directly to the revenue of the company. And the other stuffs which we work on into NLP, like search engine or topic clustering and all, those are something which creates innovation in the in your industries. Like for example, when you see Google, Gmail, they have came up with auto replies in your Gmail, right? So this if they won't go ahead with the innovation, then it won't they won't sustain. Not Google might be a too big to fail, but there are other companies which, you know, needs AIML or innovations just to sustain and just to keep the ground running. So that's why I also move towards some specialization as well, NLP and all, so that, you know, you yourself keep on improving your skill sets when you are into this field. So there's a saying like, you know, if you're into this field, you have to run as fast as you can to stay where you are, because this field is i- innovating like every month, every hour. There are so many models which are picking up, which have been, some are saturating, some are, you know, still picking up and improving day and night. So that's why you have to keep on learning. And mm, maybe few months down the line, I will also try to get another specialization into maybe computer vision or, you know, speech and all. So the journey has been quite rewarding, because AIML itself is very, like, you have to be on your toes. You have to learn something new every time you deploy a model, or every time you productionize a model. So, like, for example, I can share some project details as well. Most recently in Adobe, I have productionized one model which is the search text-based search engine. So there is a learning management system in Adobe which we have used for improving the search engine, where we have utilized NLP and then some keyword based approach, and then came up with a, you know, fusion, a hybrid kind of a approach, two pronged approach, where we go towards keywords and embeddings, because embeddings give you context, keywords give you uh, plain keywords matching as well. And then prior to that, and most recently, we are also working towards building a chatbot and the learning management system, so that the learners which come and they go through some courses, if they have some questions on the courses, then we can provide the answers based on the training of the our chatbot. And then again, prior to that, I also worked on recommendation engine for Microsoft stores, where, you know, where we recommend apps and games to the users based on their transactions, based on their historical, you know, um, historical interactions with the store team. And yeah, of course, NLP has a very huge potential application on the feedback. So we also built a feedback engine where, you know, like in Microsoft and Windows, you have millions of feedback coming up every month, and you need to know what feedback is coming. You need to know what problems users are facing, and that's how you innovate. Like, if you see that, okay, users are facing some issues in the settings or control panel in Windows, then you should know what issue they are facing. And because you cannot look into it through your eyes, like, you cannot manually look into the millions of feedback, so you have to have a system in place which can provide you summaries of issues which users are facing. So that's how you build the next generation of Windows, or next generation of wherever you are, right? And then prior to that, yeah, in Amazon also I worked with the e-commerce recommendation engine. And then there are the multiple models on, you know, predicting the transit time of a particular product being delivered to you, predicting the handling time, and predicting the weight of the product. And there are many. And like, in the banking industry, we worked on predicting the frauds, credit card frauds. I was with Citi, and so we were working on building the building a model for predicting the credit card frauds. And we were able to potentially save around, I don't remember the exact figure, but 15 to 20 million an year based on our predictions. So there are like plethora of problems you can solve in each industry. And it's just that you have to have that kind of, you know, enthusiasm, which I have seen with your introductions. Like, everyone is very much enthusiastic on this field. So that's uh, that's something we look forward to. And yeah, you can this was in a just it was my high level journey. Any questions so far on this?
Awesome. Let me maybe like I can facilitate this like process a little bit. Like thank you so much, Keshav, for sharing your journey with us. It's really like inspiring. Uh, Today we have like a lot of people from all around the world, from like Saudi Arabia to Argentina, like Mexico, and like Netherlands, Europe, Poland, United States, Canada. Uh, a lot of people are actually like uh, planning for a career transit. We also have like a lot of uh, our residents and alumni, some of our alumni as well today with us. So like they would be very much interested in learning about like how to break into machine learning and data science. So guys, like this is going to be a free format. So like ask anything you're curious about. Anything like also like we run an AI residency program for those who are not actually like familiar with it or considering to join the program. Like we help like career transitioners to gain practical experience and eventually break into machine learning and data science roles. So like anything you're curious about, feel free to ask Keshav and discuss like any challenges you're facing. I believe he's quite experienced. We believe so. Like he'll be able to like uh, guide you, provide suggestions. So like questions, we can start with the first question, maybe, and then
Hi, Kashal. I have a question. So
yeah,
first, thank you for
Madhuram,
sharing your experience.
I think go ahead.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, my question is, say you have a portfolio of projects. So, how do you get into, internship or get into industry? For instance, I do have certain portfolio of projects and I've completed certification, but it's really hard to even get a recruiter notice my application. That's my first question. The second one is for the Apziva residency itself. That semi sorry, I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. That you were mentioning,
Yeah,
paid residency program, or how does? Can you provide more details about that program?
for sure. Maybe Keshav, you can like start by like
Yeah,
answering Madhuram's question, and then we can share more info about that.
sure, sure. So hey, Madhuram, good question. So yeah, we see when like if you have good certifications on machine learning AI and you have worked on the theory part of it. What see I as a interviewer, I have been in the panels of the companies, interview panels of the companies I've worked with as well. So what happens is we the first part of your shortlisting of your CV depends on the projects which you have worked on. So that is something which you have to have some hands on with. So maybe there are some projects which you have done, maybe some sample projects, or what we say in the some courses, you have some projects within those courses. But those are some projects which are mainly into theoretical piece. It's not it might not be very much relevant to the industry as well. So there are like many competitions available on the internet as well, but it's mainly like there are some which are industry based, but there are some which are freely available, and those looks very theoretical kind of projects. And then when you work on those theoretical, so if you want to have an edge over other participants, you have to have some industry specific projects as well, are very much in the which are very much faced by the industries. So if you get those kind of experience in your resume, you will definitely be shortlisted. And because industries look into those candidates which have worked on some kind of projects which they also relate to, right? And they also need that kind of candidates. And here in Apziva also, I've seen the projects which Apziva has, the portal has. I have seen those are the kind of projects which are very much important, and those are very much, diversified set of projects. So that would definitely help you, and those are industry standard projects as well, so that can give you a good edge over other candidates. So all in all, what I'm saying is, yes, you need to have good amount of projects in your CV. See, theoretical certificates are of course necessary. Those are necessary on one round of interview when there are some ML specific interviews. But prior to the interview, you need to have uh, the shortlist as well, right? You need to get shortlisted to get to that interview. So to get shortlisted, you need to have uh, um, you know good amount of projects which are related. The problems are related to the industry as well, relevant to them. And that's how you move towards, you get an edge over other candidates and move towards the interview phase. And Semi can add to the uh, Apziva
Thank you
residency.
so much, Keshav. Madhuram, like, was this sufficient?
Hello.
Yeah,
Keshav's explanation for you?
Yes, yes, partially yes. Is it okay if I can, connect with Keshav on LinkedIn and maybe get more feedback on the kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yes.
sure, sure.
Of
That's
of course, we're
yeah,
gonna share Keshav's LinkedIn address as well on the spreadsheet,
yeah.
guys. If you can add it. Uh, I'm the director of AI at Apziva. I do some limited mentorship as well. So like, but we have like a lot of AI residents who are already in the program, who have been in the program. So like, maybe Madhuram, for your question, it would be actually like maybe better if we ask one of them. Sophia, like, uh, if you can hear us, could you please like tell us a little bit about your perception when you joined the Apziva's AI residency program? If you're like, if you can, could you please like uh, answer Madhuram's
Yeah.
question?
Hi, Simi. Are you able to hear me all right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. My perspective of Apziva's program, just a little bit to set the stage. I joined Apziva immediately after completing my undergraduate degree in statistics and data science with a CS minor. And so I found that joining the AI and machine learning program at Apziva has really helped give me like the mindset of what I can bring to the table when starting a project to truly find insights that are useful. And it's given me more packages than I've ever used before, and a guideline for like, okay, what is a project that has insights that are truly deliverable and that I can make a presentation and give it to stakeholders or to a business that's hiring me, rather than sort of the university mindset that I usually had, where it's like, I just delved into the data and here's what I found, with no general structure and no general guideline. And so I found that throughout my time at Apziva, it's really helped me first develop a mindset of what I'm looking for and what can I produce to create that, and how can I truly provide benefit to the company. And then second to that, it's had the benefit of having a portfolio where I can apply for internships, I can apply for jobs, and I can say, look, I've done this, and it has some application to what this job position for a data analyst is looking for. Like, there's a job position for a data scientist in a like sound company, like they deal with sound related products, and I'm like, okay, well, soon I'll have a project in Apziva that has data that has to do with that, and has data that has to do with Fourier series and audio analysis. So it's two things. One is really having a concrete portfolio that I can say, this is what I've done, here's my work, all of it's mine, and I can show you what I've learned from it, my mindset behind it, to bring that to recruiters and to people for an interview. And then the second is just me personally knowing like what's A, B, and C, and how can I truly be useful, and how can I create insights that are truly like implementable. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. So, how long has been your residency for, and how long you think it would take for you to, land a job from here?
Yeah, I say it's really person to person in terms of answering how long the residency will take. It's all self-paced. So if you start the residency and you have the time and the discipline to treat it like a full-time job essentially and work, up to 8 hours a day working on your project and talking to your mentor, then you will make pretty considerably fast progress going through. And for me personally, I've had some family changes. I've had other things where I've had to truly slow down for a bit of time on the Apziva project. And so I'd say maybe 3 months into the program, and I'm wrapping up with my second project. And part of that is like I've truly learned a lot in every single project, and I have a running list of every skill I've learned, every package that I've used. And so I have a proof of like everything that I've done so far. And so when someone asks, do I have experience in this? I can look and say, yes, I do. I've used this before. Here's the project that I've used it on. And then in terms of getting jobs, I'm based in America, so I'm currently dealing with a bit of a really over-concentrated market in terms of data science and AI. I have gotten one or two interviews for a data analyst position, and then I'm currently in like towards the end of the interview process, but it's for a part-time teaching position. So I know it's separate than what Apziva is going for, but my skills here at Apziva were part of the reason why the people were like, hey, we have, I applied for this teaching position, and they're like, you have these skills. Like, this is partially why we picked you out from that pool of applicants. So you have the power to make it faster. You have the power to truly like speed up your own journey. The time frame for me is not going to be the same time frame for you.
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot, Sophia.
Of course, that was a great question. Happy to help.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was muted. Who's gonna ask the next question? To Keshav. Go ahead. Go ahead, Adelbert.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a question. I guess maybe it's also a general question of my encounter with the difficulty in getting AI roles, machine learning roles, or data science roles. So all of us, most of the time, have to go through this coding, this numerous coding interview in HackerRank and Codility and all that. And that's a very, very big challenge. Even with your skills in data science, you are not able to break through those coding exams because those ones are like the gateway to get into they shortlist you, but then you have to pass that coding interview. So I wanted to ask, how do we go about? Is there a way to are we gonna be bypassing the coding interview or what? Because it has become a general challenge for both software engineers and those in machine learning and AI to pass coding interview.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's a good question. So recently, it has the machine learning data science. It has shifted their interview rounds from, you know, um, like there are a couple of rounds on machine learning, and then there's one definitely in most of the giant companies, or maybe most of the startups as well. They have one round of coding skills as well, which is needed because nowadays uh, you know um, when you work towards productionizing machine learning models, the coding skills are also needed to have a scalable system in place, so that you are able to scale the scale the um, feature which you have created through your machine learning skills, or through any model which you have built. Because yeah, because there's some hand. Yeah, because the user growth has been phenomenal in any kind of AI related product. So that's why coding has been a part of most of the interview process. One of the round is coding. And so what I see, I have also interviewed with many companies, and I also see my I would say my primary profile would be into machine learning data science, but I also need to go through coding exercises as well. So one definite thing is, when you keep on working on any project and keep on improving your project, keep on uh, making keep on you keep on thinking that this project can scale, and then this project can lead to a, a good feature which is useful for millions of users. So you definitely, while you're coding also, you will see that you are thinking of scaling as well. So you move towards small data to big data, you move towards building fast APIs and all, so that you use some managed services as well. So you use all these stuffs to make yourself acquainted with the productionizing the model. And then again, the other part is, so that keeps on in your mind, that yeah, the syntax is very much clear to you, because you keep on working towards that project. You have hands on with that project. And the other part is, the in the interview, it's not only the syntax, right? There are some DS level questions, some dynamic programming as well. So on that front, I also work on, some lead code problems. I also go through a lot many coding related websites like Geeks for Geeks, or um, and the HackerRank, which you mentioned. And then maybe the lead code is the primary one. You go through easy level questions, and have a practice that weekly I'll solve maybe 10 easy questions, 3 medium questions. If not if not solve, maybe I'll approach that question. So once you try to approach that question, and then you look towards their solution, maybe after some time of practicing that or working towards that, then you definitely, when you work on diversified set of coding challenges, and you definitely get that kind of logical ability as well, that okay, this kind of problem will be solved through dynamic programming, this kind of problem will be solved through recursion and all. So the answer to your question is practice. Like, have a schedule of working. See, majority of the time you will work towards machine learning AI projects, because you are enthusiastic about that, or you have experience on that, and that would give you a good edge, that would give you a good success rate in your interviews. But a little bit of easy and medium lead code problems, practicing every week or every day, couple of them, or every week 10 of them, or 10 12 of them, will also give you a um, ability to solve such kind of problems when faced in interviews. And that is the final answer. That's the answer, that practice on the coding. And in a way, when you are working towards project, the practice is happening, but that practice is on the syntax or on the machine learning related things. But there are some kind of interviews where they ask dynamic programming, they ask DSA, they ask searching, sorting and all. So that kind of solution will come towards while you do lot of practice on coding.
Thank you.
Okay, I think Mia also had her hand up.
Oh
And
yeah, hi.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing your experience. So my question is, when you working on the job hunting, so there's a lot like data science, AI position. So are you go directly like for to the industry you interesting, like for beginner, like entry level data scientist? Would you prefer like go directly to the industry where you interesting, or you want to try like different cases for some company, like data management or consulting company where you can experience like a multi-background projects, like which way you prefer, like I mean, recommend for people who are entry level like data science looking for a like a such kind of job.
Okay, understood. The thing is, I when I okay, let me give you my experience. When I look for a job, when I look out for more opportunities, I am very much domain agnostic. I don't care about the domain, because the thing is, at the end, you are applying your knowledge on data on that particular domain. See, at the end, you have lot many algorithms in place in machine learning, AI, in NLP, computer vision, speech recommendation. But it's just that the data would change. Maybe this domain, the domain is solving towards, maybe this domain is healthcare. One domain is, let's say, consulting, which you provided a great example. Consulting is something where you get a lot of experience on diversified set of diverse set of clients, because those clients can be healthcare, can be into software industry, can be banking and all, etc. But so I'll tell you a difference between consulting and product first. So in consulting, you'll work on multiple projects, but those would be short-term projects, and those would be mainly towards solving, mainly not towards productionizing them, but towards solving those kind of problems. Maybe in healthcare they are facing some problems on conversion. Maybe in the e-commerce industry they are facing some problems on um, profit margins and all. So those are some specific problems which you will be working on. Of course, there will be diversified set of clients. There would be multiple domains you will be working on. You'll get that kind of data knowledge, which is very, very important. And in the which is all very important. But in the product industry, what you do is you work on long-term projects. Then you productionize those projects. You get experience on looking into your projects scale to multi millions of number of users and all. You see that. So you work on end to end, right? You work on first pitching your idea to the product managers or to the leaders. Then you work towards building a POC to get their approval. Then you productionize them. Then you maintain them. Maintenance is also very important, because and then you retrain it. You have a frequency of retraining those models, maybe every 30 days, 15 days, or something like that. So those are two different skill sets which you will learn. In consulting, you'll have multi-domain skill sets which you'll learn. In product, you'll learn end-to-end deployment as well, with your modeling skills. So in both the cases, if you see, the common thing is modeling will be common. Machine learning algorithm wise, your learning will be um, algorithmically, your learning would be similar in both the cases. But there would be some data knowledge here, and there would be some deployment knowledge here. So I would say, initially you should not focus on uh, I, either of the domains, or consulting company, product or consulting, or any domains. You should focus on getting something, getting anything on the machine learning side. The profile should be relevant, of course. Yeah, a relevant profile in any domain. And of course, if you are interested towards any other domain, you can get those exposure after your first job. First, when you go into first job is really very different in nature, and you get to learn a lot in the first job. So once you learn uh, the corporate culture on machine, on this ML team, how does ML team work, data science team work. Once you learn all this, once you learn to productionize models, once you learn to apply your knowledge into data, and then you can, of course, go towards, you can be very specific on domain choosing as well. If you have some very much interest towards a particular domain, you can of course start with that as well, start with that domain. But the thing is, see, the job market is not very much um, open right now, or very much we are not that the demand is not that high that you can be choosy for initial. But first, if you focus on getting the job, then working on that, and getting as much as learning as possible on your first job, then you can definitely move towards your interest, so that you don't lose out on your mindset that okay, I just want to work on that domain. So it might delay your you know onboarding into any company. So that's I would suggest that should be the path to go. Yeah.
Thank you. And one more question about like let's talk about about data. When I work on Apziva's project, I learned that when you're choosing the models, it's really like as on demand what kind of project, and then you can say which one is the best model and which one is not. Beside you work more and more project, is there any other way you can like a quick get a quick sign of for this scenario which model I should apply to? Is there any?
See, honestly, there is no right answer for this, but see, there are some, when you work with industry, there are like multiple data points. You have multiple rows and multiple columns. So, in a way, you won't be able to visualize the data and see that okay, this kind of model would suit better. But in general, the sense is if you are able to visualize the data and you see that there is a linear relationship or curvy relationship, then you go towards a linear model, or if there's a linear relationship, if you can visualize that, then you can start with a linear model and see maybe that fits better. But if you see some kind of you know a, uh, a different kind of curves or different kind of sets, that maybe between the from this to this the data is showing maybe class A, from this to this it's class B, again this to this is class A, some sort of cuts or bins you are seeing, then maybe a tree based model suits better. Or and if it is more complex, then of course ensembling methods are boosting methods could also be more suitable. But to be honest, to be very practical, you won't be able to visualize such kind of patterns in the industry data which when you work on that, because there might be multiple columns, and if you want to reduce the dimensionality and then visualize, that's a different scenario, but that is not appropriate on most of the cases. So in general also, what we do is we work on at least 3-4 good models and then finalize the model which gives us the best evaluation metrics. And like the 3-4 models which generally in my experience, what I generally uses a simpler model like a logistic regression for classification. Then XGBoost has always been my favorite choice. XGBoost or light GBM, these have been my favorite choice, and they have also given good results for quite a few problems. Then logistic regression, then this, and then a simpler model is like KNN as well, or you work on random forest ensembling methods. Decision tree and ensembling methods are very much capable of solving complex problems as well. But
See.
yeah, there's the in short, there's no one algorithm fits all kind of thing in this.
I see. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Into and Stephen, you have your hands up.
Yes.
Okay. Hi there.
Hi.
Um, I'll let Kintu speak first. He had his hand up.
Sure. Can you? Yeah.
Hello, Keshav and everyone. Yeah, I wanted to follow up on the question asked. Thank you, Stefan, by the way. Sorry. But yeah, I wanted to follow up on the question asked by someone earlier in regards to the interviewing exams and all that. And you shared with us some tips on how to perform and all that. But I wanted to ask you, given your decade, thereabouts, something like that, of experience working within the field, how much, like, okay, I know the coding exams are there to show proof of competency that you know what you're doing, but then also how much room is there for them to allow you to grow? Because as you just gave the previous answer to the last lady, you were speaking that when you do land your first role, maximize and learn as much from the industry to improve yourself so that you can better yourself for whatever other roles you feel like positioning yourself to. But now do you see the juxtaposition you're putting us in? You're saying that we need to know that, okay, yeah, we can show competency, but then you feel like, okay, like you say, they're not looking for us. Maybe there's also that. But I feel like even if we show competency and we prove that we know what we're doing, we've just never done it. Because there's like, let me talk for myself in for as experience. For example, like I know how to code. I can say that proudly with my chest up. You get, but I have never done machine learning, but I have taken steps in to earning certification. So I've done my postgrad and all that. So I've learned. I've just finished my master's in this. So, and I did very well at school.
Okay.
So I know that I can do this. I've just never done this professionally. Yeah. But I back
Okay.
myself to do this. So where's the balance where you have people like me who are like, I have the fundamentals you need,
Okay.
but I've never done it professionally. Even though I have made code professionally, maybe not in AI ML space, but I have worked in software engineering, you get, for a good amount of time, almost 5 years. So I back myself to do these things. But it seems, okay, I could be wrong, but it feels like these guys are like, but you've never done AI ML. And everyone is saying this, but everyone is looking for people at the same time. So like, I don't get it. I don't know if it makes sense. So how much leniency do they have? Be like, okay, yeah, we want someone who can do this, can do this, can do this, because those will be the skills we can mold to use in what we do every day. You know, because also how lenient are companies to feel like, yeah, we just need you to know how to do these 5-6 things, and then we can turn that into what we do here at xyz.ai or something like that. That's my question.
So, if I understand your question correctly, you are asking like, what are the top few things you should learn
No,
to?
not what's the top few things, like
Yeah.
what, like, is does that culture exist of companies willing to teach you? They just want you to know, a few things. Like if you prove competency in some fundamental skills, like the top 6 things you just wanted to speak right now, right? Is there that culture of they're willing to teach you how the particular things of their internal workings work, as long as you have the foundational skills, you prove competency in the foundational skills they need? Is there that culture of like, yeah, we just want you to know, like, how to make models, how to present data, how to obviously how to write code, but not only that, how to work with cloud technologies, maybe how to implement security features, how to host applications on a Linux server, etc., how to make presentations for business people who don't maybe understand code, and break down your data, how to clean your data when you're looking for models, how to train your models, how to check between which models and all this. If you know how to do that, is there that culture of like, we just want you to show you can do that, and then we will take you and teach you.
Can I interrupt you for a sec? Keshav, may I answer this question as a hiring
Sure,
manager,
sure.
if it's
Sure.
okay for you?
Yeah, sure.
I think I got the question. It's an important problem, Kintu, but let me be very frank. As a hiring manager, I interviewed with thousands of candidates and hired hundreds of candidates so far throughout my career. What you are describing is actually almost every candidate is suffering. But the root cause of this is very simple. There's a trust issue. You're asking basically like, I'm confident, I know how to code it, but I haven't done it. But if you're, I mean, you might know coding, that's fine. It's good for you, okay? But almost like thousands of candidates are actually in the same situation. Like, yes, I know machine learning, I know coding, but like, I haven't done it before. The problem is there's a trust issue here. How is the company, the hiring manager is going to be able to trust that you will be able to do that when you are hired? It's not gonna happen. Like 99% of the time, someone has to believe in you, okay? Take a risk, a huge risk, and then decide to hire you, okay? That's why projects are very important, because no one can argue that. No one can actually like say that you didn't do this project. You can like easily prove that you really did that project, because you know, you're like, you know everything about the project. You can discuss the details and there's nothing to argue. It's not like, I don't like pink, I like green. It's not like that.
I understand this, and I do have a few projects that I've worked on in regards to the AI ML space, you know, personally. And even if still, obviously, when I'm applying for these roles, I do understand that there is a trust issue, like you've mentioned. As a candidate, I already know that I may know, but you don't know that I know. So I put my best work forward during these applications to show that, hey, so this is what I work on in my free time to prove my competency. I'm not just saying, like, I can prove it, I can show it, you know, and share it with you. But even then, still, like you say, there's so many candidates of us. With the ratio of pool to trust is so small. So, and even if you say that, okay, cool, even in the pool of people, there are guys who are spending their time working on projects like Keshav has been saying, doing the lead code, updating their GitHub, etc., the Hugging Face, and all this good stuff, right? Even then, that ratio of pool to trust is still so small. Like, what more do you want us to prove? Like, that's a very honest question. How can I prove myself to you? I mean, I really just want to reach you, talk to you in the face, and then have you tell you that this is what I know. And then if you turn me down, fair game. Such is the game. I have no qualms with that. But if I really can't even get a chance to show you that this is what I can do.
Kintu, I'm with you. Okay, I've gone as a candidate, I personally have gone through the same exact struggles like yourself. Okay, I was applying to hundreds of jobs and not getting any response, any meaningful response from companies. And I was like, back then, like I started questioning myself. Is it something wrong with me? Okay, what am I doing incorrectly? What like projects I should be like, I mean, what skills I should be adding to my resume? Like what kind of like side project I can work on? I didn't know that. Okay, as a candidate, you get lost. Okay, and over time you get discouraged because you start like submitting applications with no valuable, like insightful like signal at the end, and then like you start questioning yourself. But like I said, it took me like several years for me personally to really understand the real like issue after basically becoming a hiring manager, because companies indeed want to hire, but as a candidate, I was applying to jobs like with no luck. But like I was always like telling this to myself, like, oh, like, I mean, I'm good for this. I know that I'm really good for this. I can like do this job. Believe me, trust me, I can do this job. But if I only had the opportunity to tell this to a hiring manager, okay. But still, the main problem is companies prefer candidates with experience, with proven experience, period. Okay, you can be really good at what you do. I mean, machine learning, data science, coding, everything. Okay, you might have the skills, but the real issue is like companies want to hire candidates with experience. They don't want to take the risk. Okay, and I cannot blame them. I mean, I'm not pro companies. Okay, I'm not saying that they're doing it right. Okay, but it's just like a trust issue. They don't want to take the risk, like, because a hiring manager has just one slot to fill in and they want someone who can do the job. Okay, maybe you can do the job. I'm not arguing that. I'm with you. I was actually like you, like yourself. Okay, and maybe like so many of you today here. The thing is, companies expect candidates to have experience, but almost none of the companies in the world want to be the company where the candidate gains the experience. That's what Apziva is. Basically, we're giving the opportunity to candidates to gain the experience companies expect candidates to have. I mean, again, this is a trust issue. You individually cannot solve this. And that's exactly what we have been trying to solve, giving the power to candidates to gain that practical experience and then apply to jobs. Because, I mean, when you don't have the experience, you're competing against like thousands of candidates, hundreds of candidates for a certain position. And eventually it boils down to this. The hiring manager will typically choose between candidates who have more experience. I mean, you can really be good at what you do in machine learning, coding, data science. I completely understand, but you need to do something, okay, to counter that argument. You need to have, that's why actually like having like solid background, like proven record of projects which you can easily like showcase to employers, which signals that like, yeah, I have been doing this. That's what you need, I believe. Sorry to take the stage, Keshav. Kintu, I hope I answered your question. I was able to. Okay, awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I believe, Stefan, you were about to ask some questions to Keshav. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I suppose it's more directed towards you because it was pretty, my question was pretty similar to what Kintu's was, but I guess I'll ask it to both of you. So you say it's important to build a list of projects to your portfolio to prove that you have like experience. Now, what kind of projects are these specifically? Are they like can they be personal projects? And if they are personal projects, like using data from like data science websites, for example, what platforms are the would like what platforms would be the best to get that kind of data and to work on those kinds of projects? And additionally, you know, for you, Samin, as a hiring manager, what kind of projects would you like to see for someone who doesn't have that industry experience yet?
Cool. Thank you, Stefan. Keshav, maybe you can like start answering this question, and then like I can maybe like add some additional insights as the hiring manager afterwards.
Sure, sure. So, Stefan, as I mentioned previously as well, so company wants, a hiring manager or hiring panel want shortlist those, those candidates whose projects they see. One thing is to have some projects. There would be some free projects which are available on the internet as well. You might have gone through those when you do some certification on data science, or just for your own practice as well. So that is also a good thing to go. But if you want, see, if you want to have a good relevant project in your portfolio, then when what kind of problems company faces. So one thing is classification problem, right? So classification problem is there in all the companies. The other thing is imbalanced classification problem, which is a major problem in like almost every industry. Like, it's not just a binary classification, it's a imbalanced classification, because every class has their own ratio. Like, if I tell you an example, in Citibank, I was working for the credit card frauds. You can imagine, frauds are what, even less than 1%, and 99% are non-frauds. If you have such kind of imbalanced data, how would you work on it? How do you approach that? So that is one kind of industry relevant problem. If you have worked on some kind of industry relevant problem, then it stands out. Your resume shines.
Yeah. I just so what you were saying is that you should focus on projects that are most relevant or what a company wants you to see that you are able to do. So,
Yes.
like say credit
Ho-
card fraud is rampant right now, which I'm sure it is, and that's an ongoing problem that wants to be fixed. And then, well, you want to you also want to showcase that, oh, I know more about this than just being able to run the Python code, right? That I understand
how to
the
approach the
actual
problem.
problem. How the problem is, I know how to problem solve is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. That you can demonstrate that you know how to problem solve.
Yes, you have to demonstrate how to approach a problem, how you have approached a problem, and like from end to end, how did you approach see, there are many stages in data science project, right? The EDA, the model training, then the fine tuning, then the model evaluation, then the deployment, and there are many smaller parts of these subsets of these stages as well. So you have to understand, like, you are not just solving a problem, you are approaching you are showcasing that you're okay, given this data, okay, I'll solve this through this logical uh, steps should be taken to solve this data, or yes, I have faced this data. So how will you approach that problem? Because when you yourself has faced such kind of problem, you have worked on such kind of problem which the industry has already is facing, then they relate to you, right? Then they relate that, okay, yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, then you tell them how to approach. Maybe they will learn a thing or two about you, about your approach. You will learn a thing or two about their approach, and that brings a interactive interview process as well. And that's how they also wants candidates who are facing similar kind of problems in their resume, in their projects. And this was just one small example. Then there are many other relevant industry projects which currently Apziva also has, uh, and that's how you showcase that, okay, I can approach this kind of problem. I can approach NLP problem. I can approach computer vision problem. I can approach classification problem. So and so on and so forth, speech problem, and forecasting problem. There are all sorts of diversified set of problems which company faces, and if you have that kind of portfolio project portfolio in your resume, that stands out.
Yes, even if they are just personal projects from public data, would that stand out as much, or would
uh,
that be significant enough to you think?
but there are many free projects, of course. You also know, we all know there are many free projects out on the internet, but those majority of them would be on a theoretical basis. You will find some that might not be relevant. The data might not be relevant to any industry. It might be a synthetically generated data. So in
Yeah.
that case, yeah, in that case, you lack that kind of real exposure to the kind of nuances you see in the industry data. maybe some, some outliers, some missing,
Mhm.
some noisy data and all. Yeah.
I can maybe thank you so much, Keshav, for your answer. I think this was very insightful. I can maybe like add a few things to fully answer Stefan's question. I think this is a very good question, basically. As a hiring manager, what I can add to this is that when I'm reviewing your resumes, okay, candidates' resumes, like I try to understand like how whether you really did something meaningful, okay, basically to understand like whether you can like use what you know, your prior skill set and experience to solve the problems at my company. If what you did is a good indicator of what you can do, I think you're good. But there are some challenges with personal projects, like some of them Keshav also raised. Like when you're working on personal projects, who's the judge? Whether it's like really good or not. So it's hard to say. I mean, you can just like stop that particular project whenever you wish, and there's no like entity assessing or benchmarking whether it's good or not. You're the only judge, personally. And go ahead. I think
Yeah. I suppose that's a reason why people would participate in Kaggle competitions, because there actually are judges, right?
uh,
Just as an
so
example,
that
sort of.
sort of if you actually like said this like 6-7 years ago to me as a hiring manager, I think Kaggle is a great platform
Yeah.
to practice some skills. But the issue is when I see a Kaggle project on a candidate's resume, okay? I mean, it's not a bad thing, but also at the same time, it does not signal like real exposure for me as a hiring
Yeah.
manager. Because like, I mean, like again, 6-7 years ago, it was a very, very valuable platform. But nowadays, I mean, for the last 5-6 years, like if I just see like Kaggle projects on you, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a negative thing. Okay, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay,
I understand. It's like baby data compared to the industry,
it's
essentially.
very sterile, it's doctorized, and then like also at the same time, like I mean, you can do that. You can just like Google, okay, and then like find a solution, copy and paste another solution on an EDA, okay, run the code, get some results, and then add that to your resume. How would I, as a hiring manager, understand that this you really did something meaningful? You really did the hard work. You can just copy someone's code and then run it. Believe me, so many people do this, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you might really did it. I mean, it's good, okay. I mean, good for you, but for me, it is very hard to understand whether you really got exposed to like solving a problem.
Yeah.
So like that's why like companies like prefer candidates who has worked at companies before or who are actually like solving real problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that answers my question. Thank you very much, both of you.
That's great to hear. Maybe we can take like one or two last questions. It's like we're over time. I know you have a lot of questions, but Jafet, are you trying to talk? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very interesting what you were commenting here, and it kind of fits on one of my doubts. At some points, what some very certain abilities, coding is very fluent in my end, for instance. But at some stuff, it begins being very a very big effort just to learn by heart, right? When you were commenting on coping code, for instance, right? So my question here is regarding the, let's say, the coding exams. My understanding is that it is a very basic features at the beginning. But should I be paying attention on, for instance, just developing a neural network by heart, or should I be focusing in any other thing there? And my other question was regarding a let's say you were talking about the experience that you have besides the data science experience that you have. So should I be exploding my previous experience in regards of the projects that I have developed? What I mean is, for instance, I have previous banking experience, and perhaps a classification model regarding that that industry would be more suitable than any other project by showcasing the projects. That is pretty much my questions. Thank you.
If I understand your first question correctly, you were mentioning that do you want should you learn algorithms by heart, right? Neural network by heart, or should you work on simpler algorithm first? Was that a question?
Yes, it's sort of it. Is that should I be like being able to develop a full code just by heart? Am I expected to do that, or am I expected to perhaps later like the basics on, as you said?
Okay, so yeah, that is a very open-ended question. So it can be, depends on interview to interview. Sometimes there are some deep dives interviews like in-depth understanding. They ask in-depth understanding, or sometimes the question is around breadth of machine learning models. Like, do you know this? What's the input of this model? What is the high-level understanding or intuition behind a model? So my suggestion here would be like, of course, you should know from end to end how a neural network works, right? Or any other model which you have worked on. See, first thing we should make clear that whatever algorithm you have worked with in your projects, you should know that. Okay, you should have theoretical knowledge on those algorithms. Any other algorithms apart from that, that's okay if even if you don't know, because you have not worked on it, then you can justify that, okay, I didn't work on it, I work on those models which I have good theoretical understanding of it as well. So, and then the second thing is how deep you should go. See, most of the algorithms you are, at least if you know about the basic working of the algorithm, the intuition behind each algorithm, then it's okay. The mathematical formulations here and there, if you are hesitant or if you are not able to answer that, that is still fine. But if you know the working of the algorithm, how to tune the parameters of the algorithm, then that should be good enough for the initial phase of your career. But maybe when when you reach towards higher IC level roles, maybe into research and all, then some research engineer role or a research scientist role, then there might be more in-depth grilling of any algorithms. But initial level, I would say that good understanding, good high level understanding, and the end-to-end intuition behind algorithm, what is the input output, how to tune the hyperparameters, that should be at least good enough for starting up. And yeah, I hope the first answer is clear. And the second one, uh, can you okay, yeah, the second one you mentioned that can I share my banking experience for any other domain companies, right?
Yeah, very much. If it is convenient for me just to like explore my previous experience together with my let's say with the projects that I'm developing. So what my understanding by what we have talked about is that besides having the knowledge on data science, we should have relevant industry experience in some ed. I do have some relevant experience on business intelligence in banking, for instance.
Okay.
So would that be like let's say like a turn on, like an advantage, just to adapt some projects to showcase. In that is very much that is my question. Should I be looking for like a strategy of adapting some of my projects on that form?
Okay, so you are mentioning the projects which you are currently working on. Can you tweak it to work with the banking domain, and you can write that in your resume, something like that? I'm still sorry, I'm still not
Oh, very
fully.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like so far in Apziva is an amazing platform, right? We are being we have mentorship, and we develop very interesting projects, and we gain very valuable experience. Uh, so what I'm getting here is is my previous experience able to provide some advantage, and should I be thinking on putting both together, both my what I have gained in the, let's say, in the CBA program, together with my experience in banking. What I have in mind is pretty much, would it be a good idea to create new projects apart from what I'm getting in Apziva? Also, I have education industry experience, for instance, and I have previously, before Stephen was talking about baby data sets, right? So I do have some very interesting projects on the education on the education industry. I'm currently enrolled in that industry, right? So pretty much my plain question would be, would that would that add value to the way that the search,
Okay.
the queries, the human resources make?
Okay. I think my personal opinion here would be, like, if you have good amount of data knowledge on the other domain industries as well, then it will never hurt you to add more projects on that, right? So if you have if now you have now you have worked with multiple projects in Apziva as well, if and then you have exposure to banking and education industry as well, so now you can think on what kind of projects would you have solved if you had that kind of exposure which you currently have in those industries. And then you can, maybe you can get that kind of data set or that kind of problems from somewhere, and then you can work on that and then add to your resume. That would definitely be helpful, because now you have both the knowledge, right? Now you have the hands-on knowledge of ML in this portal, in Apziva portal, and then you have data knowledge on the banking and education. Now you can combine those and create your own projects and work on that. Maybe uh, why am I saying that would be, of course that would be very beneficial. When you have more projects, it will not hurt. In fact, it will give you good advantage towards, at least on those domains as well, at least on those domains, banking or education. Though in those domains, if you're applying, you will have an edge over other candidates, that okay, this particular person has worked on ML projects on this industry as well, and he had prior experience on business intelligence on the banking data as well. So that would definitely give you good advantage. You should definitely, my opinion would be, you should definitely work on those projects as well and add to your profile.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cool. I think we can take one last question, and then we're gonna finalize, wrap it up, I guess. So who's gonna be, who would like to ask the final question? I think we have Edelbert.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I have a question about the program at Apziva. So I wanted to ask, like, in the projects we can be working on, is it like end to end, and will we be doing any production stuff? production, putting any of our projects to production or something. Like, that's what I wanted to know. Like,
Okay. Maybe I can answer this question. So the way projects work is that these come from companies Apziva partners up with. If the company wants you to deploy it, okay, there's going to be a very clear indication of that. But in most of the cases, that is not needed, okay, or asked by companies, because that's a completely different challenge in terms of communicating these things with the company, and also quite risky in that respect. But one thing a lot of our residents do is basically, and our mentors do, is to get you exposed to deployment. Once you finalize a project, we basically ask you to create a simple application for that project, Dockerize that solution. I mean, this might not be applicable for every project you're going to be working on, but for certain projects, it's certainly possible. You will be Dockerizing it, deploying it to a cloud platform such as AWS or Azure, so on and so forth. But not directly the company servers. Let me put it that way. That's not going to be possible. Okay, Juan, let's go ahead.
Sorry, we are over time, but it's a simple question. I understand that all the participants have different backgrounds and experiences. So there is a general Apziva program to be followed by us. That is the question.
Okay. All right. So as far as I understood, you're asking if there's a general program, how is it going to be personal to me? So the Apziva program, AI residency program, is specifically designed to help candidates like yourself, okay, to gain the experience through our platform. And that experience is actually unique to everyone. Even though you are working on the same projects, okay, your mentor will be different to start with. And your mentor will be sharing his or her experience with you. For instance, Juan, don't do this. That's not how we do it in the industry, okay? Try to do this. Try this else, okay? So basically, it's personalized depending on your skills and knowledge and your mentor's guidance, so on and so forth. There are clear instructions to how to run projects, but your mentor will be actually closely monitoring your progress, understanding your knowledge, gaps, skills, your strengths, and then eventually guiding you closely. And you together will be deciding, basically your mentor will be saying this to you, okay, you did very good job. This project is complete and we can move to the next project.
Okay, it's very clear. Because in my case, my personal projects are related to oil industry. So well, I am a little fragmented about problems related to other industries. So well, I think that I have the background to face new new problems. But well, it's really that all of us have different backgrounds, experiences, and education. So well, it would be very very good to face the program, I think.
Juan, I see where you're coming from, and I agree. I would agree with you, and that's basically like how the program is designed. And also, I think this is very in line with what Keshav shared earlier, especially like breaking into like getting the first offer for getting your first job is going to be very critical. But when you're targeting to get your first offer, you need to have a like a diverse set of projects, as many as possible, to increase your exposure. Because when you're applying to, you're not just going to be applying to jobs in oil industry. You would want to apply to like jobs in natural language processing or computer vision or like retail, because like there are like thousands of companies around the world. Okay. And I mean, you don't want to like limit yourself to one industry, because you don't know, like
Yes,
maybe like another
yes,
company. Yeah.
I agree. I agree with that. I am trying to make a role transform or an hybrid role between geology and data science. So
Mhm.
it would be great to have different type of projects. For example, I applied machine learning um, to different kind of illness in the world, or for example, how to predict survivors in the Titanic using other variables, and that's go on. But
Mhm.
well, my my main input is in geology applied to oil industry. So uh, my question was focused on that, and I understand your position that you would have a wide range of projects to to gain to gain a highest or a higher probability to be selected.
That's right. Also, what I can add to this, basically, companies also like low candidates coming from different backgrounds and with different experiences, because like when you have like a different exposure at the same time. For instance, like you have like experience in oil industry, Jafet has experience in banking. Like if you can couple that with other experiences, other exposures, uh, even though the company you're applying to might be in finance or retail or something else, I mean, they would think this basically like, okay, he has or she has a vast like exposure to different industries, so it's like insightful and valuable to have someone in the team spanning across different industries. So like maybe you're gonna be like applying to jobs in the oil industry, but having or banking industry, like Jafet mentioned, uh, this could be your strategy, and other exposures would be like also valuable for you. Or else, when you apply to a job, I mean, at a company, completely different industry, maybe marketing or something else, your experience in the oil industry could be relevant and helpful as well.
Thank you very much, Smith.
Awesome. All right. Um, I would like to a lot of people already like had to leave because of like other meetings and things, but like thank you so much for staying with us. It was a pleasure to have you all, and I would like to appreciate Keshav to like for hosting this session. It was an amazing privilege to listen to your journey, and thank you so much for being with us and sharing your time with the community. We really appreciate your efforts, Keshav. Um, Keshav is a great mentor. He's not gonna tell this, but I believe I have the like opportunity to share this with you. He's like amazing. If you would like to work with mentors like Keshav, and maybe with Keshav, like don't hesitate to reach out. And once again, it was a privilege to have you all today with us. You can use the networking spreadsheet to connect with each other. We encourage you to do so. Communicate with each other. It's a great opportunity. And if you need something, feel free to reach out to us. And thank you again. And also, I would like to like take the moment to thank our team, Barfa, Mary, Zainab, Elif Su, for making this possible, coordinating this. But this wouldn't have been possible if you were not here, guys, today. And once again, thanks to you, Keshav, for joining us today. Have a good rest of your days.